What is going on, guys? It is a fine, super fine day here in Southwest PA, and in today's episode, maybe this audio will pick up and we can finally do the 20,000 mile review of my 2023, right? Is this a 23? Yeah, 23 Kawasaki Ninja 650. It is very dirty, I apologize, and it is all still decked out for Christmas with this little guy here. This is all coming off soon. Christmas is over, so we're going to be going. It needs a wash really bad, but let's get some nice scenery and talk a little bit about the Ninja 650. Alright guys, well, this seems like a good as place as any. Don't worry, if you know the channel, I'm not going up that way, I'll go the other way. But you know, I guess for a 20,000 mile review on my 2023 Ninja 650, there's probably two real big things. You would go this way. There's probably two things that most people are wanting to know. One, how is it mechanically, any problems, anything like that? And two, am I bored of this bike? Well, I guess the first part of the breakdown or whatever would be, how's the motorcycle holding up mechanically? And I can easily say with 20,000 miles, 2 years, I haven't had to do anything to this bike yet that wasn't just regular maintenance, meaning I've never had a problem with this bike in 20,000 miles. I've never had a problem with like starters or a check engine light. I've never had a check engine light on. I've never had any kind of slippage with the gears. I've never had anything like just stupid brake, like even like the mirrors or anything. Like I've never had anything break on the bike or anything that would need it to go in service. Like I said, 20,000 miles, it's only ever had its basic maintenance, a bunch of oil changes. This is my third set of shoes. I'm about to put on a fourth set probably relatively soon, and I'm probably going to be putting on a second chain. That's a really pretty home, and I think I'm going to put on a second chain. It seems like, you know, 10,000 miles, heavy 10,000 miles, 12,000 miles, put on a new chain. That kind of seems reasonable to me. I mean, after like the winter, I didn't ride it a lot this winter. I mean, I guess it's still very early. It's the 28th of December, but you know, I haven't ridden it with salt on the ground, maybe once or twice, but I just checked the chain and the chain is still good. And speaking of the chain, the sprockets, even after 20,000 miles, are still in fantastic shape. Now, not patting myself on the back, but that is kind of like a rider thing. Like, I won't really get into it, but you can tell pretty much like how the teeth wear out. You can kind of tell how the rider rides. Like if they always do like stuff like this, but like from like dead stops, you're gonna like have like shark teeth, as far as, I think that's what they call it. I think they call them shark teeth or claws or something, where the sprocket just looks like it's pulled on one side, and that's like chain slack, and then all of a sudden a lot of pressure on that sprocket. But after 20,000 miles, my sprockets still look really good. They're dirty and they need attention as far as cleaning goes, but they are in really good shape and they don't need replacing. Now, I might replace them just because it is 20,000 miles, and depending on how much it costs, I might do that. I know a lot of people say, hey, if you're going to change your chain, change your sprocket. Money's always an issue. So while yeah, that's probably the best thing to do, I didn't do it, and the bike still is holding up fine. Again, sprocket with 20,000 miles is fine. Chain, this is my second chain. I'm probably going to put a third chain on there depending, and then tires. I also had my brakes done, so you know, that's just, you know, basic maintenance. Had my brakes done. That's the second bike I've seen today. Good, I'm glad. And that's, you know, just basic tear. I think the only thing that might actually be like kind of like a wear thing on the bike is this brake lever. You can't see it right now, but like in here, like if you pull this up, you can see rust in there, and the brake kind of feels like it wants to stick a little bit. And I don't know if it's because of that or if it's because where I took my bike to get my brake service done, I kind of have a feeling that they didn't do it 100%, meaning when you get your brakes done, you're supposed to clean those calipers, because those calipers are what can stick. And I don't know if they actually did that or not. And I know you should do your own maintenance whenever it comes to stuff like that, and I want to, but I didn't have the confidence in myself to do that. And something as important as brakes, I want to make sure that they are done and done correctly. So that's why I didn't do my own brakes. But I don't know if that is just needing WD-40 in there or the brake calipers need done. But as far as like rust on the bike, that is the only spot where there's actual some kind of like rust issue thing. The underbody of the bike is still in really good condition. There's no rust on the exhaust, there's no rust on the frame, nothing like that. And I ride a lot in the rain. It's actually my favorite time to ride, so there is no rust in that aspect, which is really nice. It's nice that Kawasaki does build a high quality machine, which, you know, we all kind of knew that they did. TFT display still works great, everything works great, there's no issues with that. Ignition turns over every time. The only kind of services that I still have to do is I have to do a spark plug and air filter change. I would love to do that myself, but that requires taking off the gas tank, and I just don't feel real confident in doing that myself. And they want a lot of money at the dealership, and I know, you know, when you get a motorcycle, please expect to put finances out. Like, this is not free. Bikes are not free. Yes, you should do your own maintenance, but if you don't, or you don't feel confident, it's okay to take it to a shop. Like, I don't like whenever people are like, oh, you're not a real biker, you're not manly if you take your bike to another mechanic. Hey, sometimes you just don't have the tools, the time, or just the general skills and knowledge. I mean, not everybody is smart in that kind of way. And I'm very intimidated by that, because this is like almost my primary source of transportation. I do have my car now. Hello, friend. Thank you. So that's good. But yeah, that's why I haven't done that myself. And another service that needs done is the valve clearances need done. And if I'm being honest, I'm very nervous to do that service, because I always see nightmare stories of people having their bikes and it's being completely fine. They get that service done and all of a sudden they got an oil leak, and I am very scared of that happening to my bike. And like I said, after I took my bike to the dealership and they did my brakes, and I kind of think they didn't do the brakes 100%. To me, it's like, oh, well, are they going to do that 100%? Like, you can't screw that up. But, you know, mechanically, that's the only other services that need done, and that's all that I've ever needed to do. Well, I haven't even had like something stupid like a light go out, and the turn signals, the rear light, the brake light, the headlight, no lights have ever gone out on the bike, and no other mechanical issues. The bike is solid, dude. The bike is solid. 20,000 miles, was it 20,200 miles in 2 years. The bike runs great. Well, we'll get into 3. I think February will be 3 years. So no, yes, no, yes, it'll be my 3rd season. But so, you know, that's kind of where it's at mechanically. Absolutely great. The paint is still holding up perfect. There's no scratches on the tank, nothing. And you can see I don't have, I saw my original sticker, I don't have a tank grip on here or anything like that. And even with riding full gear, I don't have any scratches. The paint's phenomenal. The second part of this video is like, am I bored of the 650 after 20,000 miles, after getting a beginner motorcycle? Am I bored of this bike? I am not bored of this bike, but I want another motorcycle. But that does not mean that I'm bored of this motorcycle, because the Ninja 650, dude, I'm telling you, this is such a great bike. Like, I will never get rid of this motorcycle. And like, God forbid something ever happens to it, I would probably buy another one. The insurance is phenomenal on it. It's got enough horsepower and torque. It weighs perfectly. It's a great commuter bike. It's comfortable. I mean, it's fun to get it in your turns. Like, it's a fun motorcycle all around. But doing demo days and things like that really opened my mind, or yeah, my mind to wanting other motorcycles too, man. Like, I really want a big bagger bike. I've talked about this 1,000,001 times, man. When I did the Indian demo day and I rode the Indian Pursuit, I want a bagger. I want a Kawasaki Voyager 1700. They're comfortable, man. I want that big bike, and I actually like the sound of that V-twin engine. It sounds nice. I also want to get Honda, what is it, XR 150, just a little 150cc bike for a winter bike. I want to get a winter bike because you know, I didn't ride this much this winter yet, because they keep on putting a bunch of salt on the ground. I wasn't sure what he was doing. They keep putting a bunch of salt on the ground. Riding in the cold, no problem. I love it. Riding in the salt, no, that's like really starts messing things up, and I don't want to do that. And I would rather ride the bike, so I want to get a dual sport, or honestly, I'll get anything. I'll get anything as a winter bike. Just something that I don't care if it gets rusty. I don't care if I crash it. I mean, it could be a Honda Rebel 300. Just something. Maybe not a Honda Rebel 300. I'm not a big fan of the small foot pegs pushed up forward, like the Indian, oh, what was it? Scout 101 or whatever it is. I did not like that bike. Did not like that bike. But I like the forward feeding foot position if it's on a running board, like the Pursuit and the Voyager and stuff like that. And also, you know, doing the demo days, I would love to get not a dual sport, but an adventure bike, like a really tall bike. Like when I rode that GS 1300 BMW or whatever it is, that was such an insane bike to ride. And I very much encourage you guys, if you haven't got your bike or you're about to get your bike, if you haven't got your bike yet, I highly encourage doing your MSF course and playing around on the different bikes they have. They should probably have some type of cruiser, some type of naked bike. This isn't a naked bike, but like some kind of like bike like this. And they probably have Groms, which I don't think you should waste your time on the Grom, but that's just me. Play around on those bikes, because you never know. You might have your head set on, it's like, hey, I want to get a Ninja 650, and then you ride a bike similar to this, and you're like, it's not really my thing. And then you ride a cruiser and you're like, oh, this is definitely it. That was the complete opposite for me. I wanted the Vulcan 650, rode a cruiser at the MSF course, and said, nope, absolutely not. I do not like it. I like this style. And I fell in love with the 650. So am I bored of the 650? Absolutely not, man. I mean, I could still just like get it on this bike and just have so much fun doing that, and then come back down and have a nice cruiser bike, or have a nice commuter bike, or something just to run to the store real quick. It's a very good bike that does everything that I need it to be. So no, I'm not bored of the 650. I would like to get a second and third bike though, but I do not want to get rid of this bike. That's how much I enjoy this bike and how practical this bike is. Again, dude, I'm telling you, the 650 is the perfect weight, it's the perfect power, it's the perfect torque. For me, as far as like where I'm at in the city, it's comfortable. The insurance is cheap. The gas is very good. I mean, you can ride it for hours. There's no better bike in my opinion. I mean, if you want the Z650, you're getting the same exact bike, just naked. That's it, same bike. And as you know, I'm sure you probably know, the Z650, the Ninja 650, the Vulcan 650, the Versus 650, they're all the same engine, just a different frame, just a different style bike. So the engine is what I'm getting at too, is phenomenal. They built a very good parallel twin engine that will just run and run and run. Make sure you keep up on your oil changes, but everything will run perfectly and smoothly. The bike is put together great. Again, 20,000 miles after riding in the rain, sleet, snow, hail, everything. No rust anywhere except for this, and that's just kind of where water like kind of collects, and that does make sense. And I can probably fix that either just by replacing them, or just putting some WD-40 on it and calling it a day. And there you go, that's it. And sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, that's kind of my 20,000 mile review on the bike. I have other reviews on this motorcycle. I have like a 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 mile review on the bike. I'll put them in the description. So if you want, you know, more of a video or more information about this motorcycle in particular and a review on it, you know, I'm kind of going to say the same thing in a lot of them. One of them I go in a lot more detail, where I talk about like the mirrors and the TFT and the technology. You know, it's got great technology in it too, where it's not overpowering. It's not too much technology. You know, it's got your traction control 1 and 2. You can shut it off. It doesn't have cruise control. And you know, that's kind of it. Like, there's, you know, and you got your ABS. This bike does not have ABS, but you know, other ones do come with ABS. And you got all your well, you can't see it because of the hat, but it's got all the other instrumentations that you would need: your range, your fuel economy, a fuel indicator, obviously gear selection. All that fun stuff is all right there, easy navigable with your very easy to use tactile displays. Hello, friend Watson Hoffman. Watch out for people darting in and out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to head home. Look at that tree. Look how beautiful that tree is. I really hope this video is picking up audio, because I will be so mad if it's not. But I'm going to go ahead and go. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, like I said before, I have a bunch of other review videos on this bike. I'll put the links in the description or whatever, and you can just you can check them out there if you want to get a little bit more information about this bike. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.